Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. My name is Connor and hope you're all doing okay today. With the crash that is happening on altcoins, Bitcoin really isn't that bad. I'll get into that in just a moment. The real damage has been in alts. Huge carnage across the board. Should we be worried? Is it all over? Is it time to pack it all up and call it a bull run cycle complete? Stick a fork in it, it's done? Or do we have more to go into 2025? Stick around for this stream. I'll be going over what I'm seeing and my take on things right now. Let's get into it. Big shout out to everyone here in our live chat. We got KO saying the bottom came and went around 2 ATL time. I guess you're talking about Atlanta time, which is just Eastern Standard Time. So the bottom came and went at 2 p.m. EST, I guess is what you're trying to say. It's possible. We'll get into that in a moment. Shout out to Crypto Lexi saying hilarious. By the dip, don't trip. I can't claim that that's my saying. All right. I did get this from Crypto. Shout out to Crypto Face. Great crypto YouTuber. Great trader. But he has a song with this guy, Crown Chakra, literally called By the Dip. And I'll probably get hit with copyright if I play it. But we'll listen to it real quick anyway, just the first few seconds, because it's a great song and this is where I got it from.
The market crashed on me, but that's not my last, homie. It ain't over for me. It ain't over for me. The market crashed on me, but that's not my last,
Probably
homie.
get hit with some copyright.
Only one logical thing to do. Don't trip by the dip, by the dip, by the dip.
That's it. Don't trip by the dip. Pretty good song. Go listen to it if you're not feeling too good about the markets, because honestly, I do think that's a very accurate take on the current state of things right now. But anyways, Crypto Lexi, glad you like that. Shout out to Matthew Black saying, dude, awesome Christmas intro. Glad you like that. King Louis, Frank, we got Jordan, we got Mark Bass, Heavy Chevys. Everyone in the chat, what is going on? Shout out to Scorch, Be Cool, the Crypto Billionaire, Rainer. Scorch saying to smash that like button. Indeed, guys, smash up that like button right now. 70 people watching, only 19 likes. Let's go ahead and get that up to par. So Bitcoin, like I said, really isn't too bad. It's trading for $97,000 right now. If we're looking at the crypto bubbles top 100, we got a lot of red. We got Fartcoin up 34.5%, and we got Move up 20.9%. All right, so let's get a little vibe check. Is this how everyone is feeling currently? I mean, it certainly seems that way if we look on something like crypto Twitter. It seems like the world is ending. Chicken Little, sky is falling. But yeah, I mean, definitely earlier today, this was the state of many people, right? Just completely done, right? Emotionally and mentally exhausted. But I do think having fortitude in these times and being able to stick through it, especially if you're simply just like using a spot portfolio strategy for the most part, it's really not that big of a deal. Especially if you have conviction in your coins that you've bought and you're holding, and you understand where they can potentially go with a full-blown Bitcoin dominance dropping induced altcoin season. But nonetheless, if you're feeling like this, don't trip by the dip. Now looking at our liquidation heat map, well, this was over $1 billion today on the 24-hour. It's currently at 834 million, 24 hours liquidated, $680 million on the long side, 153 million on the short side. So like I said, this was over $1 billion today, but obviously it's a bit later. So over the past 24 hours, some of that data is 25, 26 hours ago. So it's not reflecting in this data, but nonetheless, huge liquidation flush out event, very similar to what we saw on December 9th on that Monday crash. A lot of leverage was wiped out from the market. And that's what happens when prices drop very quickly, when everyone is, or not everyone, but many people are on centralized exchanges leveraging altcoins, sliding that bar all the way to the right. So again, like, be smart and don't get liquidated is the most important thing. Now, anyways, let's take a look at Bitcoin here. All right, so is it all over? Time to stick a fork in it? No. Definitely not. As of right now, this move has been a retest of December's monthly open. All right, that's at $96.5 thousand, as you can see here with the monthly open on our key level indicator. So we have retested again December's monthly open, and we're actually using this area as support at $95,000. definitely a big level to hold. This isn't the end all be all. All right. If we have lost structure here, right? With this drop, bullish momentum has clearly subsided. The main level, though, if I'm going to be worried about the cycle ending, would be losing this. Okay. If we lose this, I'll be very worried, to be honest with you. If we lose 88,000 and drop below the green zone beneath these lows over here, it is bad news. All right. It is very, very bad news. The positive thing right now is that we haven't lost that level, right? We dropped from 108,000 down here to 95,000, and we're currently at 97,000 on Bitcoin, of course. So again, the must hold end all be all level for me is going to be down here in our green demand zone, which is kind of the origin. When price stabilized on its run up over here in November, it formed a higher time frame level here. All right, you can see it's been utilized multiple times. If we lose this and we get daily candles closure below, I'll be very worried, and I will, yeah, I mean that could be it if that does happen. I'm saying, but again, it hasn't happened. We're still holding higher than that. We still have 95K support holding, and I mean, look, we still have like 91 to 88 before we breach all the way through these lows. So as of right now, that's our most important thing to be watching for. All right, we're going to see which level does end up holding. And I do think that we're going to have a very bullish Q1 in 2025. All right, so we're going to see now, is this current support from around 95, 94,000, the monthly open, is it going to hold? Or are we going to see the drop down here to our green demand zone closer to $88,000, $89,000? That should be the main thing you're concerned about with everything. All right. Of course, keep track of your individual altcoins, what their charts are looking like. That goes without saying. But the main thing for this current cycle is going to be watching Bitcoin and seeing if it wants to go ahead and just, lose all levels here that it's put over the past few weeks to months. And again, we drop below this, I'll be very worried, but we're not there yet. All right. So we're still holding higher ground. Now, when it comes to other alts like Ethereum, if we look at ETH on the daily time frame chart, so it has basically gotten back up to the yearly high at 4,000. It swept the yearly high from March, and it's been down only since testing the high price of 2024. This happened on March 12th, March 14th, right? Ethereum went up to 4,100. We got up there on Monday, December 16th, a few days ago, and it's been down only since. Now, I don't have any tweets open, but the Ethereum Foundation has been selling. Coincidence, right? They just always, they seem like they're always selling nowadays. But nonetheless, Ethereum now, let's just look at this chart. Well, what do we have? Let's go ahead and identify this. I mean, definitely something here. I'd call this some kind of important level, right? For sure. So we can go ahead and isolate that. And price is basically in this zone. And this is right at around 33 to 3,400. Below that, we have another important level, which is at 3,000 to 3,100. We don't want to see Ethereum come back below 2,800. That was, of course, the top of the bear market range. And like Bitcoin, we're well above that price level. It hasn't cleanly retested the bear market range after breaking out above it. Maybe it wants to do ultimate pain right now and go test 2,800. But yeah, I mean, if we're trading back in here, like that's just not at all what we want to see for Ethereum below 2,800. So we're at support here. We have support at 3K. We'll see what does end up holding. But all in all, the carnage really is in many of these other alts, right? Solana has lost 200. It did bounce from 186 bucks. Losing this structure, right? So definitely a lot of weakness continuing to show for Solana. Doge has lost its range, right? The range low is over here at 32 cents. It has dropped beneath it. We'll find out very shortly now if this is just going to be a simple deviation and reclaim of a range, or if it actually wants to go ahead and test our level down here at 21 cents at the daily 200 EMA. And all in all, a lot of carnage in altcoins, right? Render back below $8 at 730. Tau below 500. It's right at the range low, so it has not broken beneath and turned bearish, right? It's still trading in the range it has been trading in from September, and it's just now at the bottom of the range. So we definitely want to see these levels over here from around $450 to like $400 end up holding on something like Tau. And across the board, right, Caspa as well. It's been in this range for 13 months, and it's basically testing the bottom of the range. So essentially, a lot of coins have sold off, and they're either at the bottom of their ranges or they've lost important support levels. All right, some altcoins are 100% stronger than others right now, but it's just a bloodbath across the board. There's really no way to sugarcoat things at the moment. If we're looking at Bonk is actually interesting because it's still holding this downwards sloping channel that it has been trading in from late November. It's continuing to utilize this bottom support line, and it doesn't want to break beneath that. So Bonk most likely going to be a very good performer on Sol. But anyways, guys, that's just an overall kind of market check looking at Bitcoin and some of the higher market cap altcoins. And I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions and you want me to look at some charts. So we'll save a lot more for that. Now, here is a tweet from Kobe from December 23rd of 2020. This was 4 years ago, essentially. And 4 years ago, let's just do a little trip down memory lane real quick. A little trip down memory lane here. In December of 2020, let's drop this to the daily time frame, please. There we go. All right, so December 2020. We basically had this just before Christmas time, right? And then on Christmas Day, price actually started to rally, and it peaked out at 41, pulled back to 30, and then it made an all-time high at 64,000 in early 2021. But this is kind of, par for the course, you could say. These shakeouts like this happen on a routine basis in every cycle, all right? So basically I'm showing you this to let you know that it's really not some strange mystery. It's not some far-fetched thing that's happening with prices crashing. It actually happens all the time. And I think the people that are overly emotional are probably the people that are newer to crypto. Because look, if you've been in this market for a while now, you understand how volatile it is. You understand what you signed up for, basically. Many people who were just getting into it over the past few months with the Solana meme coins going crazy, they basically had too much sugar and they didn't eat enough vegetables. All right. So when you're spoiled off of the sugar and then, you lose sense of what's real and what's not real. The Solana trenches, they were insane. They were very, very forgiving, where a lot of people could just come in and buy the most random stupid meme and, hit some crazy multiples. A lot of people joined crypto over the past few months because of that. And now they are seeing how real the volatility actually is, and that it does go both ways. All right, it doesn't only go up. To all the new people, sorry to shatter your reality, but that's just the way this works, lad. So anyways, yeah, we're pretty par for the course right now. A bit of a holiday shakeout, you could say. What happened to the Santa rally, huh? It could still happen, right? You just saw what happened in 2020. It was slow, it was down, and then on Christmas Day, it started to rally to new all-time highs. Bitcoin I'm talking about. Here we are in current day. Again, here's that 8-month range we spent all summer and most of the fall in, breaking out in late October. And we've broken out very cleanly. We've teleported from the low at 50K to the range low to the high at 108,000. And this is just the macro on the daily time frame. It really doesn't look too bad. Very similar to the sell-off we just looked at in 2020, right around the same time. I wouldn't be panicking. I would not be tripping. I would be looking to buy that dip. Shout out Crypto Face, Crown Chakra. Anyways, let's see what this live chat's saying. King Louis says, Santa, pump my bags. You're about to find out if you were naughty or nice. Are you going to get coal or are your bags going to pump? You'll find out soon, King Louis. XAI bots. Haven't seen any of those recently. Shout out to Joey Joe catching the live stream. Smash that like. We got a super chat from Heavy Chevys for $2. He says Bonk just got listed to Robinhood. Very interesting. Guys, smash up that like button. Over 140 people watching, only 34 likes. Go ahead and smash that like button. So Bonk just got listed on Robinhood, which is very similar to Dogecoin in 2020, 2021. Back in those days, you could buy Bitcoin, ETH, and Doge. I think that's it, because XRP got in the lawsuit. So you were very limited on Robinhood on the cryptos you could buy back in the last cycle. So the fact that Robinhood has listed Bonk is definitely a very positive catalyst for the coin. Now looking at it on the Coinbase chart, so on the daily time frame, interestingly enough, it has just tested our daily 200 EMA and coming close to the quarterly open on October 1st, which is at 0.000023. But yeah, definitely a good thing Bonk is listed on Robinhood now. I mean, I had some normie friends buy Dogecoin on Robinhood back when they listed it in the last cycle. Like I'm talking, I don't want to like be mean. Maybe they watch this stream. I haven't really talked to them in a long time, but you know, not the brightest of bulbs, you could say, but they crushed the Dogecoin trade. So maybe something similar will happen to Bonk. Let's see. Declan says, smash that like. Lots of discounts out there. Already know it's going to be a good stream. Yes, sir. Thank you, Declan, for your support. Mark Bass says he sold at profit, bought back some Sol. Don't know if that's the same as buying dip, as have no more cash, so had to improvise. I mean, for sure, if you sold it high and then you bought it back low, that's buying the dip. That's not tripping, that's buying the dip. Shout out to Mark Bass for doing that. Scorch says, hi, lads. Hope you're still holding your bags. Some wise words there from Scorch. Hope you're still holding those bags. I agree with you. So Scorch seems bullish. He doesn't think the cycle is over from that comment. Pretty interesting stuff. Be Cool says, hey, Connor, what's up, Be Cool? And let's see, Crypto Billionaire is over at a 33 degrees Celsius climate. Slightly jealous, man. It's pretty cold over here. Winter time on the East Coast. Rainer, yeah, we got some Patagonia on. Thank you, sir. And let's see. Rosie's buying the dip. Random19 says, yo, Connor, thinking of swapping my Tectum for ALPH. Thoughts? So you're swapping a layer 1 for a layer 1, which is cool, right? It's not like you're swapping a layer 1 like coin for some random meme coin. I would not advise something like that. A layer 1 for a layer 1 does make more sense. Now, ALPH is a very bullish coin. I would say at this moment in time, it has a lot more catalyst than TET. It is higher than in market cap, but some huge announcements for ALPH. I think it was the United Arab Emirates, or was it Saudi Arabia? They're going to be using ALPH for some big stuff. Somewhere in the Middle East that has a lot of oil money. They're choosing ALPH as their blockchain that they want to, build on and do things with for their government. So yeah, ALPH, very bullish coin, right? Proof of work, UTXO sharding and the likes. So I would say that's not a bad move at all, Renum, especially after this major pullback on ALPH where it went to $3 and it has pulled back basically 50%. So that looks good. Tectum has been a major underperformer, as you can see. If we go to our weekly time frame, it is back down to weekly support. You'll probably, like if you swap or you sell TET now, if you were to sell it for like cash and exit the market, I would say you're selling the bottom. But because you want to reallocate it, it is a different story. But look, I really can't, like if TET loses this, it's just completely done. Stick a fork in it. You don't want to see that. More likely than not, TET's probably going to find a bottom somewhere around here. So that's something to consider. But in general, your question, Rhythm, I don't think it's the worst move on the chessboard to make. I don't. But yeah, I mean, how much lower could this thing go, right? This would be the third tap of this bottom line. Anyone who understands the power of threes will see this as probably opportunity. But hey, I'm just looking at things and speaking what comes to my mind. It's on you guys to make the decision you want to make with your money, because I don't give financial advice. David says, when in doubt, zoom out. Yes, sir. Don't trip by the dip. Season Desist PD says big time. So gaming coin big time. It did have a big dip today. So big time. I think that song is very appropriate. Don't trip by the dip, right? Nobody should be tripping over the big time chart. If we're looking at this, it is just at a support level that has held many times in the past over here at 14 cents essentially. It's back up to 15 already. It's already bouncing. Tried to break out over here at the start of December, pumped to 25 cents. It was rejected, right back down to the support level that has held from October. Okay, so big time right now. If you're buying this spot as a gaming coin, it is a good level to do that. Market cap is high, 208 million for a gaming coin, but I think Coinbase will pump this. This is a coin that can pump very hard, is what I'm trying to say. It seems like this will be a good performer when gaming starts to pick back up, and right now it's at a good buy level down here. If you do see it at 11 to 10 cents in this green zone, that will be like Pico, but it's definitely not a bad place to look at DCA at current prices, just looking at the daily time frame chart. Let's see. Heavy Chevy says, did I jinx us when I super chatted Tuesday that the Fed was going to give the finger? Nah, I don't think you did jinx us, Heavy Chevys. I think you were just saying what you thought was going to happen. So I wouldn't call that a jinx. Let's see. Laurel Jack says, hey, can wait next cycle, 2031. May break even by then if I DCA bear market. I think you got to think bigger, my man. I think you got to think bigger. 2031. That's in 6 years from now. Can you wait 6 years to break even? I mean, if so, I wish you all the best, man. But I think you got to get a little hungrier, and you got to evaluate your circumstances and understand that the world's going to look very, very different by 2031. And, by that point, you should ideally have way larger goals than when you have right now. So, maybe a bit of a mindset evaluation is needed there, Laurel. But hey, who am I to say that? It's your life, man. You live your truth. Rosie says, aren't 20 to 30% corrections normal in a bull market? Yes, 100%. I have gone through that in the past on the Bitcoin chart, but it is quite common to see 30%, 25% bull market pullbacks, and it's 11% so far. So with that being said, if we do see a 30%er, that would take us down to $75,000 on the dot. And interestingly enough, that is a demand zone. Again, we don't want to see this. Call it 88, call it 89, high $88,000 price levels over here. We simply just do not want to see Bitcoin lose this, all right? Because that is a very obvious change in market structure, a break in market structure to make things bearish. But yeah, if we do lose 88, then I would say there's probably a 99% chance it comes down to 75, right? Also exactly where the daily 200 EMA is as well. But the thing is, if we're in a parabolic bull market, we want to get so overextended up and see that kind of distribute into altcoins. If this happens, maybe things will take longer. But again, I just don't want to see Bitcoin drop below $88,000 for my personal analysis, because that would just change a lot. It would change a lot in the charts, and the bullish structure would be completely lost if 88,000 is lost. Joey Joe says, Connor, what do you think about the Cubic ecosystem? Coins, QCAP, QVolt, Qualis, MLM, ETC. My last match of the game. I think it's largely still in development right now. I'm holding my Cubic, and I'm not really interested in working it around and doing a lot with it. I haven't even started to stake it yet personally. Why? Because I'm cool with waiting a little bit. But what do I think about the Cubic ecosystem? Good question. I think it is a work in progress, and everything that's been built so far is great, but there's still a lot of work to do. But I see that work getting completed. And I mean, look, I was able to stick with the project through the worst of times. Things have changed substantially, and I do expect big things for Cubic. So yeah, it's a work in progress, I would say right now, and it's very, very early days. A lot of delays, which is to be expected with something in its early stages. So it's going to require some patience, but I think it will come to fruition. Rosie, Bitcoin to 75 and ETH 2.5K. Yeah, I mean, look, that would be 30% pullbacks, but we just don't want to see this bullish market structure get lost going into the end of 2024, into the start of 2025. That's just not at all what we want to see. But hey, the market is going to do what it wants, not what we want it to do. The market is always right. We got a super chat from T13. Thank you for the super chat, T13. He says, Karat price prediction. Dilution, not too bad. I mean, price prediction. So as a gaming AI coin, it's at 80 million. We know that gaming coins, based off of previous data from previous cycles, can reach valuations in the high 100 millions to potentially billions, right? Up to 10 billion. This is how far Axie Infinity went. Now, look, I'm not going to give you an exact number, but I'll give you a rough range. It has the potential to go to the high hundreds of millions and even exceed $1 billion market cap. It already has a very good performance, as you can see. The all-time low happened 3 months ago. Okay, never mind. It's only up 80% from that all-time low. I think it's been around longer, though. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't hold this project. All right, so I guess that was the all-time low. Maybe it's different on the DeFi chart, on the ERC20 token chart. On the Coinbase chart, all-time low is 25 cents. So yeah, my answer to that, it has potential to go to the high hundreds of millions, if not billions. Bonk buy or wait for a better price? Well, this is the weekly chart on Coinbase. It looks like ticker Bitcoin. It looks exactly like ticker Bitcoin. You basically have this range, which was the range high for a long time, for basically like a full year. Price was unable to break out above this range high. It's broken out, and it's essentially below. It's back in the range, but this is its first retest. So right now, if you buy Bonk, you're essentially buying the breakout and a retest, which is a very effective strategy or an effective edge. So I don't think you're going to be able to time the exact bottom. Maybe you will, but I doubt you'll be able to repeat that 10 times out of 10. So the best thing to do would be, if you want to buy Bonk, to dollar cost average into it. And this is a pretty good level to do that. The next best level would again be down at the quarterly open, which is not too much off of current price, around 20-25% lower. And on a coin like Bonk, it's very volatile. It can happen quickly. Let's see. Scorch888 says, if we see USDT dominance again above 5%, then we can talk about an end of the bull market. Let's take a look at that chart. Got all these lines on Mondays. I'm going to take these off. But anyways, the 5 percentile level is here. And You got your daily 200 EMA at 4.93%. So basically what Scorch is saying here is because USDT dominance, stablecoin dominance, if you will, it has an inverse correlation to risk on assets, altcoins, right? When this goes up, altcoins go down. When this goes down, altcoins go up. So yeah, 5%, very important level. Bump this out to the weekly. I agree with that, Scorch. We definitely don't want to see Bitcoin dominance, above 5% and closing above it on the higher time frame charts. That would definitely spell disaster for altcoins. That would be another bear market, basically, right? Last time it went above 5%, we basically saw altcoins have their own mini bear market this year for like 8 months. So yeah, I agree with that. We definitely don't want to see that. Definitely an important thing to keep an eye on when it does come to kind of the macro of the cycle. And again, when this goes down, when it hits key levels, that's typically good times to sell alts. And below, we have a key level at around 3%. So yeah, we'll check back in on altcoin prices when we're at 3%. And mark my words, they will be much higher than current price. But if we see this go back up to 5%, yeah, I'd say it's pretty toast. Need to hydrate. I honestly don't even notice. It's completely like autonomous. But I appreciate you looking out, man. Let's see. Rosie says, I'm buying bread again after it dips more. All right. So Brett. If it dips more. So you're back on this bull flag that was kind of building in November before it broke out. And you've used this level multiple times now. So, I mean, what you would be looking for is just a break here and price coming back into this previous range. It can certainly happen. It's back down to a $1.3 billion market cap. We can highlight that. And it's at a decent spot, right? So here, let's talk about what to expect now going into Christmas. Understand that it's going to slow down considerably, being that everyone's off of work. It's the holiday season. It's Christmas time, right? Nobody's really working at all. Notice what happens in the market over the summer when all the people on Wall Street, basically take their vacations. Everything slows down. That's where the phrase sell in May and go away comes from. Also, because of that, there's always slowdowns. So anyways, the holiday season is very similar, where we see a typical kind of slowdown. So with that, there might be a few moments where we get some crazy volatility because of the low volume being traded, basically, especially on derivatives. Things may move, all right? So it's possible Brett does come back down and test that 1 billion market cap level again. But here at 1.3, I see it on this support of this flag it was in this demand zone that was formed on the way up. It's not the worst levels. I mean, everything is at major discounts. Everything is at major discounts from where it was, say, 2 weeks ago at the start of December. Brett's down 40%. It was down as low as 43%. So those 40 to 60% retracements, really 60 to 80% retracements are optimal on meme coins. But being that this is such high market cap now, it could be a bit different. All right, so Sui here. Now, it's not a very important trend line, and it has kind of deviated this line in the past. right? I'm using these anchor points from the lows of basically the altcoin bear market. This is Sui's like all-time low, I'm pretty sure, at 46 cents. So yeah, we've connected it with that Pico low, with the low over here at around 78 cents, extended it to the right. And again, these trend lines, they're not exact price levels. They're more general areas. And Sui on the higher time frame is right on the line now. So sell off right to a very important support level to be holding for Sui. Now, I could see it come down and test the monthly open at 350. But realistically speaking, if it does do that, it's probably going to go range bound for a while before any new leg higher. If it does end up holding this general trend line area, that would be much more bullish for the chart. But yeah, if it's going to break down and test the monthly open, it's probably going to need a bit of a reaccumulation period and do some chopping around before any new highs. Bitcoin Ether says he's buying the dip, but he's scared. I'm glad you say that. You're buying the dip, but you're scared. That's what it should feel like when you're buying crypto. Way too many people only want to buy when the times are good. When everything is sweet, fine, and dandy, they think it's good times to be buying. Always the best times to buy is when you feel like you shouldn't be buying. Always, always, always. If you do the opposite of what your natural emotions tell you to do, you're most likely going to have a lot of success in the market. So if you're scared right now and you're buying, that's a very good sign. Very good. Let's see. Crypto LTP5 says Litecoin. So Litecoin, it's like Bitcoin Cash in the sense where it kind of has its annual pump every bull market. And it's starting now, right? This is the last time it had the annual bull market pump. That the Litecoin halving pump was really a non-event over the bear market. But the bull market pump in 2020 to 2021, we saw Litecoin go from $40 to $413, a 10x from September 2020 to May 2021. So what is that, like 8 months or so it took? Now, it's very similar right now in the sense that it's moving off of the similar level it moved off of in the bear market of 2020, or that part of the cycle, you could say. And it has started a similar kind of trajectory that it does again every 4 years, the annual Litecoin pump, annual Bitcoin Cash pump, etc. Now, the first pullback over here, it was 26%. And it had multiple pullbacks on the way higher. Pulled back in January, 40%. So it's not too uncommon to see major pullbacks in the midst of a parabolic rally for something like Litecoin. And so far, this has pulled back 35%. And, excluding what happened in 2020, let's focus on present day. You have these highs. These are all the bear market highs for Litecoin. All right, 2023, this was the halving pump, sold off. Over here, 2024 in March, gets back up to 100, sells off again down to 60. Now what happened, first week of December, it broke that bear market range. All right, that hasn't happened. That's the bull market breakout, actually. That's literally the bull market breakout. You can see it hasn't been at these price levels since it broke down in the bear market in 2022. All right, so Litecoin, it started its bull market pump and it's having its first pullback. If we're going to get something similar or even on a bigger scale than 2020, 2021, the first pullback was over here and it led to basically another 5x or so. So yeah, Litecoin in general, if we're talking macro cycle, again, it started its bull market traditional annual pump. It's broken out of the bear market range, and it's putting in a retest right now. In terms of how low this thing could go, well, we have a line at 92. We have this down here, 82, which is also the daily 200 EMA. So if you do see Litecoin between 90 to 80 bucks, and you want to ride this one, again, given that it started its kind of parabolic move, well, that looks like good levels to be buying Litecoin. Daniel, are you still bullish on KeyCat? KeyCat has never necessarily been like super high on my base coins that I want to buy personally, but I do still think it's a good meme coin on base. Now, every coin on base is currently suffering. They're all going through the ringer together. And KeyCat now, it's given back all gains from, the past few months. It's given back everything. So, previous times it's happened, we're going to see here. Are we going to get a base season? Coinbase put out an advertisement today saying the base token. So maybe a base token's going to launch. I mean, look, again, when it comes to these, we'll get back to KeyCat in a second. Let me find that real quick. But when it comes to all these layer 2 airdrops, again, they all say they're not going to do an airdrop. And then they always do an airdrop. As someone who's gotten basically every single layer 2 airdrop so far for Ethereum, I'm calling their bluff. But anyways, let me find that advertisement. So if we're going to get a base airdrop, that house money effect is going to hit the base chain so hard. There's going to be a lot of new memes that will, go from 1 mil to 200 mil. Always happens during those bull market condensed periods of insane volatility to the upside. But some of the long-standing ones like KeyCat should also do really well. Let's see if we can find this. Yeah, whatever. I'll show it tomorrow. But Base put out some kind of video where they showed a demonstration of swapping into the Base token. We'll see. I'm still using Farmbase personally. You know my take on Farmbase. If you have extra ETH sitting around and you're just holding ETH, it's basically risk-free in Farmbase. So I wouldn't suggest selling coins to get ETH to farm it, but if you just have ETH sitting around, I think it's a great play. Anyways, that's my take on KeyCat and Base in general. Shout out to Rigoberto. G Heaven, he says 2025 will be the best bull run thus far. Look, it's certainly shaping up to be that way with Trump getting in. Trump very pro crypto. There's talks about HBAR right now. HBAR is basically doing everything that I thought it would do years ago, but then I kind of lost conviction in it. But yeah, I mean, HBAR, big things. It's probably going to be a big year for HBAR as well. XRP, after a long legal battle for many years, it might shock a lot of people. So I'm optimistic going into 2025 on the entire market. AI as well. I think AI is going to have some major breakthroughs next year. We're already starting to see it with the agents being introduced. I think we're going to see a lot of utility introduced with many of the agents next year for AI, as well as a lot of AI infrastructure plays. I agree. I think 2025 is going to be a very, very good period at some moment in time, but it won't last forever. Anyways. Rigoberto says, now is not the time for selling by the dip. Yes, sir. John Tyler, Snake 2025 is pumping. No idea what that is. Y Brid says it's going to be a big time rush. Not sure what you're referring to there. G Heaven, thoughts on Corpo overall for the bull run? Corpo, it's a good low cap gaming coin. Market cap's super small. It's 21 mil market cap right now. Now, it broke out, right? Here's your neckline, and it's basically forming a handle to a cup, right? If you want to call this gigantic thing a cup. It's basically forming a bit of a handle right now. So thoughts in general for Corpo. I think it has the potential to do really well. Christopher Nelson, he says he just bought a lot on the dip. Don't trip by the dip. Fred James says, why is there so much FUD regarding ICP? I don't really know how to answer that question. Probably because it launched at like $1,000 and it's trading for $2 now. It probably has something to do with it. Crypto LTP5 says, where else is this live other than YouTube? It's only live on YouTube at the moment. We used to stream to Twitter at the same time, but I'm back on a different streaming software, so it makes it really hard. It's basically a pain in the ass to make it cross-compatible with other platforms, so only YouTube right now. But we do have a super chat from Albert. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat, Albert. I appreciate your support. He says, hey, Connor, I would like to get your opinion on Sologenic. So I've actually never heard of Sologenic before. It looks like it's an XRP coin. XRP ecosystem. And it's traded on centralized exchanges. Let's take a look at the chart. Can't speak on any fundamentals, so we're only going to look at the price action. And here it is. So all the believers got paid out big time recently, from around 7 cents to a high of 90, currently sitting at 44 cents. So that's a major pullback from this high, down 53% in a month after going like 1,200, 1,300%. So something here like Sologenic, well, it's an XRP beta play, basically. Now, when it comes to the chart, if you want to see continuation, simply you want to see this green box hold. If it does come to the bottom of the green box and fall below it, you just want to see it quickly reclaim these lows, right? You want to see that become a deviation. Now, we can put some lines here and we can show how it's forming like this this nice falling wedge into this demand zone. So the chart looks good, and this green box is the opportunity box, I would say. Let's make that a little more square, like so. From 35 cents I can see being hit down to around 22 cents. Does look like the prime opportunity box for something like Sologenic to see continuation higher. But after a mega pump like this, it's already been consolidating for a month. So probably going to consolidate until 2025. So again, I'd be looking in this green box if you want to buy something like this. Christian Jesus says, what's up, Connor? Will dynamic Tau drop soon? I believe it's going to drop in 2025. So I wouldn't expect it like immediately, but yeah, it should be pretty soon. Should be. Let's see. Lexi, what do you think about Blinks? CoinGecko says it's a meme, but it's really a way to build and create on Solana AI agents. So Blink and only Blink are some interesting things. Or maybe this is not the one I'm thinking of. I believe only Blink is like a Solana backed pump fund competitor. And nonetheless, here we have blinks.gg. Yeah, I need to catch up with the exact narrative when it comes to this thing, but let's see. This chart's a bit wacky because it went 32x in 2 days. So all of the meme coin trench warriors printed, took profits, and it's currently down 86%. Now, if this is going to be used infrastructure on Solana, being able to launch agents and, you know, things like that, it should have a higher valuation than a $4.3 million market cap. And it's down 86% in a very short amount of time. You know, basically down to the levels of where it spent a lot of time in the past over the summer. So something like this, it's a risky Solana play, but it could do really well. So it's worth an asymmetric bet, I guess is what I would say about this thing. I would definitely not make it a large position at all in any portfolio, but maybe it has some potential to do well. But yeah, I've been looking into the AI agents on Solana, and I do have one in particular I'm quite bullish on. I do. Rosie, how often do you use RSI? Fairly often. Fairly often. It really depends on what I see on the chart, and if I want to match that up with price action or candlesticks. It's how I personally use it. Let's see. Sniff says, one of my Illuminati friends told me to load up on Flix and BTSG. Well, Flix, I don't know about that because it's been like 3 or 4 years where you come on here and are live, you know, when we're live and you ask to look at Flix. So I don't know if it was you or your Illuminati friend, but I do know that it's nothing new that you've been loading up on Flix. I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything, but I think to all Crypto Empire community members that have been around for a long time here, we all know that you are the Flix guy, but that's totally cool. I have no issues with it. Anyways, Flix on the weekly, bottom of its weekly range. So that's I remember this chart differently. Maybe they got different versions of it. Guess not. Here we go. This is what we want. All right, here we go. So yeah, Sniff, you know, we all know you were loading up on it down here, man. But you held through and you have very high conviction in this coin. Now, again, it's at the bottom of this range that it's been in for essentially all of 2024, you know, minus the pump that happened at the start of the year. So this is also a level that I have on my chart starting at 10 cents. So it does not look like the worst time at all to load up on OmniFlix. And then BTSG. I got this airdrop back in the day. Now it looks like whenever I drew this, I don't remember when I did, but obviously that didn't come to fruition and it hit the higher target up here at 11 cents. Let's clean this up. So that's a nice diagonal. And I mean, look, we're coming into the origin of this big pump on the weekly. So this is when you want to be interested in stuff. After it's pumped and it's been bleeding out, and now it's starting to drop with velocity into, a higher time frame demand zone. This is for sure when you want to be interested in it. So Sniff, shout out to you for bringing it up at a time where, it's low, where you have the opportunity to potentially buy low and then look to sell much higher. So yeah, I mean, this chart, these osmosis charts look a bit wacky. Just long, slow price action with some crazy, volatility in between. But I will say that here at the discount of the range is a good time to be interested in it. Not when it's at the top, when it's at the bottom. Basically where it is now. But anyways, guys, let's see. Spy Paint says thoughts on Arrow Bud. So I got asked about this meme coin a lot on Base last week, and I said that I don't want to buy it after it pumped so explosively. Now it has pulled back considerably, which is healthy. It was needed. For a coin to just do this vertically straight up, it cannot sustain. So this is definitely a healthy pullback you're seeing now on Arrow Bud. Now it's a meme on Base. I'm not sure the exact specifics. What do they donate to some dog charities? That's great. Dogs are awesome. I love my dog. Now the problem, or not really the problem, but just the reality is, can it replicate Ski Mask Dog? Does it have the same mind share? Does it have the same demand? Does it have the same community where it's going to pull that next leg to 250, 300 million market cap, which would be like a 10x from here? Does it have that in it? I'm not sure it does, right? I heard about this coin after it pumped. I'm not sure why, but I didn't hear about it at all during this time. I only heard about it over here, right? It was never on my radar whatsoever, all right? So, I mean, I'm talking from a perspective of someone who basically just missed the move. So take it with a grain of salt. But anyways, on Arrowbud here, again, it's retracing the entire pump. And this origin from 2.1 cents down to 0.004, if I wanted to buy it, it would be in this demand zone, right? I would want to pay wholesale prices. I don't want to be paying retail. Retail is up here. We want to be paying wholesale down here. So that is my thoughts on Arrowbud. And we got another super chat from Sean Z. Thank you for the super chat, Sean Z. He says, how we looking on AGI? Loaded up recently, ready for the next AI run. Let's take a look at AGI. So it has ended up. It's following the sketch so far that I put on the chart, I guess, on Monday, December 16th, this past Monday. All right. Like I was saying, this diagonal channel, parallel channel, I'm not treating this line, this bottom line, as an exact level, more of a general area. It's broken beneath it now. So you really want to see this current range low at 15 cents end up holding. All right. You really don't want to see daily candle closures beneath that, because then it'd probably be going back down to 11 to 9 cents down here. So AGI, like this is, as you can see, a very key support that's been holding for a while. And you want to see that continue to hold at 15 cents. Let's see if it wants to follow the sketch that I put on. Again, these are just ideas, my sketches. Sometimes they are right on the money, 100% accurate. You're right. You think I'd have a crystal ball. Sometimes they're completely off. But anyways, AGI, very critical level right now. You want to see 15 cent hold. If it loses 15 cents, that's pretty bad news. It looks like it would want to come back down again to 11 to potentially 9, 10 cents. But yeah, as of right now, you want to see a hold. And we got another super chat from Coach Ron P. Thoughts on Gondola on ETH. Appreciate your hard work, brother. Well, thank you for that super chat, Ron. Means a lot, man. Appreciate the support. So gondola on ETH, I'm going to assume it's this one, at a market cap of 1.4 mil right now. So it looks like a low market cap meme coin on ETH. A community takeover. Two-legged friend we all know and love, silently observing all. So it looks like some kind of space creature with 2 long legs and a small body. It's a meme coin. My initial thoughts are all right. Bit of an interesting creature. Now let's see this chart. So it has had some nice rallies in the past. Let's throw this on the market cap chart. It's had some nice rallies in the past. And this zone that I just put on, this has always been where it accumulates before it pumps. All right. Every time it's pumped, it's accumulated in the range that it's currently in, from around 2 million market cap to potentially 1 mil to, or as low as the low 100Ks. So it's basically back in again. Let's just make it very clear. We'll call this wholesale. You want to buy wholesale and you want to sell retail, right? You don't want to be paying retail prices for your coins. So just based off of what we're seeing here on this chart, it's at levels that if you want to buy it, like this is where you should look to buy it. Will this thing make a comeback? I have zero idea. It looks like an interesting meme. I can see a community potentially gathering around this thing, a community takeover. But just looking at the chart, if I was really bullish on this thing, this is where I would look to accumulate it, personally speaking. Anyways, Coach Ron P, I hope that helps, brother. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the stream right now, lads. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully it was able to give you some perspective on where we're currently at in the cycle, whether or not this cycle is over or we have more upside now going into 2025. I think my stance is pretty clear. We had a lot of good comments and observations from people in the live chat today, giving their perspective in regards to things to look out for to determine whether or not this cycle is cooked. So I hope you guys got some value out of today's live stream. And if you did, make sure you smash up that like button right now. I can see the ratio from viewers to likes is pretty low, so I appreciate the support, guys. Smash that like button and let YouTube know that you like these live streams, so they'll push it to more people, and we can grow and make this community better overall. But I hope you guys like this one. I'm Connor from Crypto Empire. Have a great night. Have a great day. Whatever time, wherever you are in the world, make it a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Connor from Crypto Empire signing out.